Another sprint car team parts ways with their driver, and it's starting to feel like more changes are coming. We'll talk about that, plus the Outlaws and Atomic take a beating for the Monday feature, and changes in the air for Longhorn Chassis, its Dynamics division, and Kevin Rumley. Let's go. It's Tuesday, May 27th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. A quick request from me off the top today. No matter where you are watching or listening to the show right now, please consider hitting that subscribe or follow button. Both are free to do, no matter whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or maybe a podcast platform like Apple or Spotify. That's a sign to the platforms that they should keep sharing these episodes to new folks, and it will make sure you stay up to date on all things dirt racing. My goal for the year is 50,000 on both YouTube and Facebook, and we are getting closer. We're sitting at nearly 43,000 on YouTube and nearing 38K on Facebook. Whether you subscribe or not, thanks for stopping by and hanging out for a few minutes. All right, let's dive into the show. The World of Outlaws hit up Atomic Speedway in Ohio last night for a Memorial Day run. And going back to our discussion last week about track work versus taking the time necessary for it, things went the no track work direction last night ahead of the feature. And some folks, they were not pleased. I had a message before the feature even started about the track taking rubber, and unfortunately, we ended up with a race that had very little passing. The night's hard charger in Cap Henry went just +3, and we had just 18 cumulative position changes throughout the entire field. That's the smallest run for an Outlaw hard charger since Bristol in 2022, and the 5th fewest position changes in a feature over the last 611 Outlaw races. As you can imagine, the reactions today, they're not great. There are some things to mention here, though, that certainly go against the narrative today. First, the idea that there are never passes for the lead with the Outlaws. How quickly we forget, but we just were on a stretch of 4 straight races with multiple leaders. And of the 25 shows this season, 13 have had multiple leaders, if you were curious. Also, I see Atomic taking a beating for never producing good racing. That doesn't seem to track either, looking at the Outlaw numbers. Last night was actually a big outlier for Atomic. Over the previous 5 Outlaw shows there, they've had between 40 and 49 total cumulative passes per race through the field, and 3 of 5 had multiple leaders. Things last night with the track certainly didn't go how anyone would have hoped, but contrary to popular belief, I don't think Atomic's Charlie Vest or the Outlaws hope for or try to have rubber down surfaces. In that main event, Carson Macedo led all 25 laps from the outside front row, and kudos to Duncan for trying to win that one late. That's never easy or really even possible sometimes to do on a rubber down track, but he tried to put a move on Macedo in turn 3 and 4, but it didn't work. He ended up 3rd with Chris Windom slipping by for 2nd. At least he tried, though, to make something happen. It was a career best finish for Windom. Hunter Schoenberg had his first top 5 of the year, and Skylar G now with back-to-back top 5 runs for the first time in his career. It's also been a brutal couple of days for Zach Hampton. He crashed real big at Port Royal on Sunday, destroyed a car. We talked about that yesterday. He then got DQ'd after qualifying last night for being light at the scales, then got DQ'd again after the heat races for not having his head and neck restraint system. Needless to say, the 6 team called it a night after that. The Outlaws head next to River Cities and Red River Valley this coming weekend. In other Sunday action, Matt Sheppard led flag to flag at Thunder Mountain Speedway to top the Super DIRTcar Series at Natural 77. He beat Peter Britton and Eric Rudolph in that one. Sheppard well down the order right now through the first 4 points races with the Super DIRTcar Series. He's sitting down in 7th, not something we're used to seeing that 9S machine. He's 42 points back at championship leader Alex Jankowski, even with yesterday's victory. He's had a bit of a tough start, but things seemingly maybe starting to turn around. The big block's back next week for a stop at Big Diamond. Because silly season never stops, we had even more sprint car ride news last night. This one felt a bit news dumpy, releasing things at 9:20 p.m. Eastern time on Memorial Day, right in the middle of the Outlaw Dash at Atomic. But TKS Motorsports and owner Troy Renfro made the decision of following High Limit at Port Royal to part ways with driver Corey Eliason. TKS did not yet announce plans for a next driver, and Eliason's future plans are unknown. In 17 starts in 2025, Eliason and TKS had 1 top 5 and 3 top 10 finishes. They'd run 8 Outlaw shows, 5 with High Limit, 3 Knoxville weekly races, plus with the MSTS at Huset's. Eliason missed the feature both nights of the Weikert this past weekend. I'd heard last week that this deal was going sideways, and I honestly expected word to kind of come even before it did. It actually made me question the info because we hadn't got word, but this will teach me to have more faith in the source who sent that information to me. Word on the streets is that Renfro is looking for a younger driver, and he's already begun the process of trying to get his next steering wheel holder. We'll see what he's able to put together here soon. There are some quiet rumblings out there of more sprint car ride changes to come. Nothing super solid yet in terms of information, but it seems as though some out there are starting to get itchy, maybe looking for a change here as we kind of start working our way towards the summertime. Final topic for today. There are some interesting things happening right now in the dirt late model chassis and shock space, which I told you guys a few weeks ago would likely start playing out. In the aftermath of Jonathan Davenport misspeaking after his Fairbury win, remember where he thanked Penske Shocks instead of Bilstein, I had some industry friends clue me in on a few things happening behind the scenes. Davenport made sure to make it clear after all of the chatter that his Lance Landers own 49 is still indeed on Bilstein's. I loved all of the folks who tagged me in his various posts and the commentary afterwards, multiple mentions of Bilstein, all of that stuff. Late last week, though, Longhorn and its Dynamics division made a few announcements about new parts, with the company now offering its own Longhorn-branded right rear shock, also their own shock piston. They're also offering Bilstein shock packages with upgraded components made in-house, and they hired a new Dynamics team member. That's what we know about publicly. Behind the scenes, though, there are more changes, including a big one for Kevin Rumley. I spoke to Longhorn Steve Arpin late last week, and he sent me the following information regarding the new parts and pieces from Dynamics and what's up with Rumley's situation. Arpin shared, quote, Longhorn Chassis launched our Dynamics division with a commitment to work more closely with our customers, providing tailored performance solutions and addressing challenges regardless of the brand of shock they use. While we continue to value and respect our long-standing relationship with Bilstein, we've also built an elite in-house team that has already delivered race-winning innovations, unquote. And then about Rumley and some of the rumors I'd been hearing, Arpin shared, quote, as a result of global restructuring, Bilstein was unable to renew Kevin's contract. Kevin has been integral to Longhorn Chassis since day one, playing a critical role in our growth while simultaneously contributing to Bilstein. Bringing Kevin on full-time to further contribute in the development of our expanding Longhorn program was an easy decision. His expertise is unmatched, and the opportunity to focus his talents solely on our in-house innovations efforts strengthens our team and future, unquote. Even amidst these changes, I would not expect any of the big teams to suddenly shift to Longhorn Dynamics branded shocks. Obviously, if you see a Longhorn very often, you will also see a Bilstein sticker on the back spoiler. But Arpin told me they are still working closely with Bilstein and that, for example, the Longhorn factory team with Brandon Overton and Riggs Motorsports, they will continue to utilize Bilstein's products. If you're unaware about Rumley's situation previously, Arpin kind of mentioned it there in the statement. He was kind of on both sides. Rumley tied in with Bilstein doing work on the shock side, but also heavily involved in Longhorn, engineering, design, things like that. Obviously, his own car is kind of that R&D deal for Longhorn. Definitely interesting news, though, and I think we'll continue to see things move and change and grow in this space, not only with Longhorn, but with some of the other chassis players as well. That's the show for today. Hit those like and subscribe buttons. Leave your comments below. Have a good Tuesday out there, and we will see you right back here tomorrow.